All right, traders. Hey, welcome on back here this Tuesday, January 27th. Great to have all of us though back here. I see Grant, Leda, Michael, got Steve, got Roberto, got all of us here just back inside our trading room. Give me a quick sound check. Let me know if you got me here loud and clear. Should be good though. Got Uday and Debbie joining us as well, and Tim. Perfect. All of our students and members at least alike inside our room. And hey, if you're on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, we're all over the place out there on the internet streets. LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, you name it, down there just on the lower left at Cyber Trading U. Just make sure to hit the follow and subscribe buttons down below, respectively. Now, with that, wow, we have had a great day today, and it's not so much expected like right before the Fed announcement. Hey, direction might be either way, but typically you expect hesitation, consolidation, hesitation, anticipation, patience, just more of a slower market normally. But to have the SPY push back up once again today, it gapped up overnight, popped shortly after the opening hours, went after 10:30 even, had topped off around more around 11:30, close to noontime there, and back to the high of the day here. So love to see it. This is everything that we want to have happen at this point. And I went over that in our workshop just yesterday, right? In our workshop traders talk yesterday, covered the whole SPY move from head to toe, basically expecting the resistance to flip into support right around like 689, 690. So great move today. And large caps benefiting, small caps doing pretty good too. We're going to go into some good day trade stocks that we just caught inside our trading room just before. But this is where, again, we got tomorrow, the Fed announcement looming. I know no one's really expecting much happening that's out of the norm. But it's always Powell at the end that gives remarks that will make the market move. That's the real kicker. It's the press conference, the conference call, whatever you want to call it, where he gives remarks, right? And that's where you're going to see a sharper move within the market, the SPY, etc. Well, I'm just pointing out. Listen, I hope that we just keep moving up perfectly. Just perfect run up to 700 at least, right? Smooth sailing. My tongue is tied. But this is where if we have at least a slightly negative reaction tomorrow, wouldn't shock me to get the pullback down to 690 one more time, and then the real trigger to go back up to these prices, to go up to 700 and way higher. So very bullish on this market, and hopefully, the former happen. The former happens, not the latter. But it's just to say at least that you got to be prepared for all things. So for right now, going into the afternoon, I wouldn't really look to swing trade too much at these prices. If you have a good swing trade from like earlier this week, from last week, etc., and you're in the clear there, then ride it out. I got a few swing trades I'm going to ride out likely heading into tomorrow, but at these prices, you might want to be a little careful. So with that said, Amazon, very strong chart. We talked about this in coaching, myself and a few students at least yesterday. Talked about the potential move back up and over to 40. It was building basically a Fausto flag off of that level just the last day or so. Higher lows, retest, bam. Shortly after the market opened up, ended up making a pretty strong move. And then from there, look at it now. It's at the high of the day. So a stock like Amazon, I don't mind putting on our side list at the least. The NVIDIA trade, I thought there was a case for this to try and move back up to 190, try and break over that there. I've been in and out of NVIDIA just tiny, because this thing has just been flat for a long time. It's been consolidating for a long time, rather, at that higher lows, but just flat. Had one pop here that we killed it on. But other than this one, everything else for me has been like break even, just tiny win, tiny loss, nothing. And at least here, if it ends up trying to break back over that 190 level, that could be a better move later on. Amazon's probably stronger. Apple, that was strong yesterday and still pretty good today, at least overall. But now it seems like it's been tiring out. So I'll tell you what, maybe we'll come back to the Amazon trade by the end of it all. Tesla at the low of the day. So clearly not everything's on the up and up. Let's just go right from top to bottom at least here. We'll go back to the Amazon before we finish. Let's see. Jack this up at least. Now, we got to get into a few of these, of course. On the top right of my screen, my position manager, and on 4 of those right now, the RR, the OPTT, Fossil, and then the IBRX. But let's go through here first. So the XHLD, hey, had a nice pop early in the morning here, shortly after 9:30, and built a higher low across the day. So that's what kept it in line for another push later on right now. It still needs to break above resistance around 280-ish, 290-ish. Then from there, you likely have an iceberg order up top at 3. Like the high of the day is technically 295, but your first like real resistance on this trade today, looking at the, like, the intraday graph, pretty much here. So notice it kept crashing into it later on, now lower high. So if it breaks over this, great. But then that's where you got to worry about like whole number level of three. Is there going to be something even larger there? I'll come back to this trade by the end. And by the end of this meeting, I'll give it a second look. Ooh, nice chart here. MRNO, Morano Global Investment, whatever. Really good push though. Cheap stock, good spread, good order book. Not a great long-term graph, but obviously that's where we see a lot of these stocks make a short squeeze, and we'll tend to see at least a temporary move up over time. Had good support back here in September, going into November, broke below it, flipped it into resistance here. That's no surprise. And now at this point, trying to go back up. I don't mind just putting this on our list. If you want me to throw this on our list to begin, sure. MRNO. Hopefully the spread still tightened or remains very tight here. It's a really cheap stock, dirt cheap. So you got to make sure you got to make sure the spread's tight, but you also got to make sure you don't have a 72,000 share iceberg just popping up out of thin air on the sell side here. That ain't good. That is not good. If that gets filled, that's another story. But who put that out there? Michael, Leda, Wayne, Andrea? Anyone here in our room? Is that you? All right. Let's see what else we got, though, right now. We'll come back to that at least. It makes the cut for right now. But if that stock tanks from this point, then, well, you know why, and we're going to take it off our list. This hopefully definitely doesn't tank, and this has been cruising today. The RR trade. Hey, we've been on top of this since the market had opened up. I'll go over at least what I was looking for on this trade. Let me just ask, though. I know a few of us, at least specifically. Certainly Kevin is, a few more. Who is in on this RR trade right now? I'm not trying to sound like a pirate, like RRR, and like Richmond Robotics. Who's in on RR? I had to break out my pirate joke. You knew I had to. I had to break out the pirate joke there. Debbie, Kathleen, Kevin, Glenn. Bill took profits. He's out now. That's fine. Hey, took your money in Rand, Bill, as long as you're happy with that profit there. I can't even tell you how many stocks I've left money on the table for. So, as long as you're happy with the money that you've made, awesome. Nicole, you're in. Excellent. Right now on this trade, obviously we're going to put it on our list. It's at the high of the day right now on incredible volume, good spread, good order book, big iceberg here, 560. Watch out for that. Just noticing that right now. All right. So I may have posted this picture in the chat earlier. Yeah, I did. I posted this picture in the chat earlier. So let's throw this up here. Looking at the long-term chart, the historical chart, we did have support off its like IPO here around this like 414, 415, 430-ish area. Resistance up top around the 650s or so. Had some crazy spike. But funny enough, here's what I did. I ended up basically like extrapolating another range, copying another range identical to this. And I put it up here. The exact same like metrics and numbers and everything kind of like based on the range. So it is funny how like a measured move happened here where it did come into this pop and then obviously the brutal drop after. It moved back up here where this basically flipped from support into resistance, up, down. Now I drew this line too because that's at least a pretty sharp peak, kind of introducing that into the fold. But more or less, this has been doing incredible for us, at least earlier today, and still holding up very nicely. So goes on our list, absolutely. And I think this is going to be one I'm going to hold on to heading into tomorrow. All right, so let's see what else we got at least here. IVF. Hey, I want to tell you something as well. This IVF trade, I didn't like it all today. It was actually something I was not a fan of one bit today. Actually, I had a book map issue this morning, so it wasn't necessarily IVF's fault immediately, but it really didn't have good levels. So I'll just show you that here. Pretty much, Barb said that there was a big split on it recently, like a 1-for-8 split back in November. But I was like, I'm not a fan of this IVF chart. Historical chart, no good levels, and a strong downtrend. The book map is also very tough to read. So, yeah, I mean, it had some pop in pre-market, but it was just done afterwards. So that was probably one of the best call outs of the day, one of the best moves of the day. And that's just deciding not to waste time on this thing. Now, in terms of making money, then this is where our bread was buttered, right? So the RDW Fausto nailed. He was on top of this trade immediately. I mean, put this on the morning list, and then it had popped shortly afterwards, of course. But I know a bunch of you guys killed it with him on this trade. Anyone still in on this? The RDW? Anyone still on this trade here from earlier? This is more of a category like 3 to 4 stock. And thankfully, the order book filled in a lot more on this now compared to earlier. This thing was like the wild, wild west earlier here. The big spread, crazy shake up and down. I missed a move here. I wanted to have this resistance flip into support. And once it broke below it, I just was kind of dejected by it. I just figured, oh, wow, that's going to be probably a pump and dump after. It fell so deep into that resistance. I was like, you know what? I think that this thing's done. And it was not dead at all. It ended up moving back up eventually. I should have been more patient with it or gave it more of a focal point later on here. And I missed a big move on here. This was a hell of a pop right away afterwards. It's still holding a higher low technically, isn't it? I mean, making lower highs, but hey, it's kind of near the highs of the day still. So if you want me to come back to that trade by the end of the meeting, absolutely will. CRWG is up. That means CRWV on the loser side. Oh, no. Sorry, I got my ETFs mixed up here. Oh, my goodness. CRWV equity is actually up. Oh, my God. I thought that was like an inverse. Oh, my God. Egg in my face. All right. Well, either way, we're going to put them both on our watch list. I just thought CoreWeave was down. So either way, they go on our list. CoreWeave common up. This is the cheaper alternative. CRWG. This is going up with it, obviously. So there we go. You know what they say, folks. When you assume, you make an ass out of yourself. I'm kidding. So we keep going, though. The SATL trade. This has been incredible as well. In hindsight, more of a swing trade, of course, too. Is just blasted highs recently here even and took a life of its own. So today, doing really nicely right now and at the high. So great trade, similar to the MRNO, similar to the others. And we'll add that there. Oh, I didn't. Oh, you don't see this, but on the list I'm typing out right now, I actually didn't put RR on there. That obviously is like at the top of the list there. All right, we keep going. HUYA. This ended up making a good pop earlier on this morning. Fausto had called it out actually pretty nicely, like perfect timing here, right around 404, 406, and good for about like 50 cents. 10+% move as a day trade. I'll take it. We can't always like look for like the 100% movers, like the 90%, the 31%, 10%, 11% on a day trade. That's pretty damn good. IRE, that is at the high right now, and make sure I get my facts straight here. IREN common is up right now. So it seems like AI and maybe the nuclears and the mining stocks perhaps kind of all going up right now. So IREN is doing pretty good. I don't mind putting that on our list now. Also, let's just see what else we got. There might be like others out there that are cheaper, that are moving up just as well, if not nicer. Yeah, like aerospace here. This just made a nice pop. So it was like all the space stocks right now. High the days. ASTS not really doing too much. Lunar is not doing too bad, up over or almost 9%. This one we're more familiar with. I actually don't mind adding just kind of Lunar to our list right now, kind of going through those space trades. I mean, this is even up more percentage-wise. I don't know what the long-term graph looks like here. Some IPO from last year. I'm not really like trusting it too much just yet. This could definitely become a better trade if we could see this flip resistance into support there. But until it does that, I'd probably pass. The Lunar trade looks like longer term has been a sharper trade going up. So yeah, I'll probably prioritize LUNR. APLD at all-time highs. That's a no-brainer. That's going right on our list there too, near the top. We put Lunar on there already. The iron trade I'll kind of slip on there also. That's looking pretty good. American Battery, right? This stock has been pretty good as a swing trade. Maybe like a few months ago, had a nice squeeze up here. If not a swing trade, day over day, is it like a day trading stock? But pump and dump type of move. Huge volume candles, whipped up, came back down. At least right now, it's at the high of the day. I don't know. I feel like there's other trades that look better than this right now. The TE looks sharper long term, like looking historical graph wise. This is looking pretty good. More flat right now at least, but we're more familiar with this trade. I'll prioritize this a little bit more. ONDS, definitely. That's looking pretty nice right now. Also, not too expensive, very liquid, one that we're very familiar with. All right. GE, shout out, or GM, I'm sorry, dyslexia. GM, shout out GM. GM had a nice pop earlier on today, and they are, I think, at all-time highs, right? That's what we had said. I mean, I got to go back further perhaps, but at least, 12, 14, 15-year highs. Yeah, looks like all-time highs pretty much for GM. Oh my God, GM. Dyslexia tripping me up there. More expensive, right? So if you don't want to trade a more expensive stock, then don't trade GM, but we'll add GM to our list there. RCAT, this has been on fire lately. This has been a huge trade of late. It looks like it's still kind of back towards resistance, at least here, back from the end of 24, beginning of 25. It wicked above that here and crashed down, but the more it holds above it, I think that we'll get that next move. Interesting trade. There's a lot that we're going to put on our list, it feels like, here this afternoon, folks. So that's why we have to go across these lists, build them up. But, now we got to be a little bit more picky and choosy. We got the lunar already. That's nice. Like we had said, the mining stocks are up. CIFR is doing pretty good. I did like the long-term graph of that for a little while. And wow, this is like building a perfect pennant here also. That's kind of interesting. Interesting to see which way that breaks. Geez, there's just so much that is up right now. Like number 50 is up 8.5%. Bloom. Pretty expensive stock, but all right. So I'll tell you what, folks. I'm gonna need your help. Let me know if anything else looks good from your side, of the field, and I'll take a look. Type it in the chat board. If you're on social media, just type it away in our comment section right there below, in the chat section below, and I'll take a look before we finish. I'll hop over to the loser side first. The UNH trade is still getting beat up. So that's where you got UNHG down with it. It made such a big drop from last night into today. It certainly could continue tomorrow, but I feel like it might be more exhausted out today right now. I mean, you got a big list already. If we didn't have as big of a list, I'd probably toss this on there, but CVS, wow, this was a great short earlier on today. It looks like someone covered, a bit of a squeeze back up. My IBRX is down today. I'm still up on it, though, and we're still doing all right on it, holding the float. EOS down a little bit today. I mean, actually, there's a lot of stocks on the gainers and losers side here today, both. So, let me know, folks, what you like, and I'll take a look here before we finish up. I'll take a look at Benzinga Pro also. But again, let me know, folks, if you got anything for me here in our chat room. If not, hey, then I did my job, right? If no one's got anything for me, then it means I either did my job or everyone's very confused. And that's what we got our classes for, at least coming on up at the end of this week, the Friday classes that we'll conduct. CoreWeave, we got that already. Iron, got that already. GM, not GE, got that already. MP, more expensive also, but that's seemingly doing well today. You, all about you. Got to go back to Amazon like we did say. This one's too crazy. That's a casino stock. ORBS, not really up as much percentage-wise. You got the GITS. Man, I'll tell you what, nothing really that is like impressing me here from that scanner. The only thing I'll kind of look at is MP. This dropped off big yesterday. It's trying to recover. That's all right. We'll pass on it. The Amazon trade I will kind of make room for, though. If you want me to make room for one more trade, I'd probably just put Amazon there. Very healthy graph. Chris with USA. Oh, we got a few here. Good. Perfect. In our chat room right now. Chris, USAR, as a swing trade, I mean, that's always in play. But as a day trade stock, if you do well on it personally for anyone here, then you know who you are. and you could probably put that on your personal list. I'm probably not going to feature a stock like this, though, looking at the drop off yesterday, and it's kind of crawling up right now. I feel like there's just better place to work with going into the close right now. SBSW, I think from one of our trial members here, Kurt. Welcome aboard, Kurt. So this is something we'll teach you definitely more so in our curriculum. Looks like a nice stock, moving up a little bit today. Definitely strong daily chart, right? Definitely strong daily chart, long-term graph altogether. Like that. I really like the long-term. As far as a day trade stock, though, that's what I'm going to try and focus on at this stage, right? The MRNO, we got that already. I did put that on the list. I put that on the list, but I put it on our list when it was here. So, Jeff, I appreciate you kind of bringing this back to my attention, because if there's a way to kind of scratch a stock off our list, that would be it. I appreciate it. No, seriously, because at this point in the afternoon, it was looking good. And we said, all right, well, if we come back to it and it's pulling back here and tanking, then different story. So I'll delete that, actually. Good reminder. You, Amy, I'd say the same thing with this as the USAR. All of those rare earth precious metal stocks should move together. So listen, if you do well on them personally, put them on your personal list. You know who you are. And I mean that in a complimentary way. I mean that in a good way. But for anyone here that is looking to follow just at least the gainer side, the loser side, stocks that look the strongest here going into the next 69 minutes. I think we got 69, 70 minutes to go. We're going to at least focus on that there first. And then we'll prioritize our side list stocks. Then we'll dip into the UAMEs, USARs, CRMLs. Hey, this one's not looking half bad either. This is probably looking the sharpest of those rare earths, at least, if you're looking for any of those rare earth precious metal stocks. I mean, it was up 2.7%. This is a sharper trend up. But even something like this, I'll kind of just put on the side list for right now. I really like what we got, though, folks. We did our job. We did everything here, at least across from top to bottom. So there's our list. I'll pretty that up for us in just a bit. Just kind of type that out in full in just a moment. And then, got Rich on the mic going into the close, folks. So, hey, best of luck trading. I'll be in coaching from 3 to 3:30. I'll let you know if I jump into anything else. Give you a quick update on a couple of these trades on the top right that you see on my platform here. RR, all about the IBRX. I did comment on that, just saying, it's down today, but we're still doing pretty all right on that. Fossil is a low volume stock. It's up today. I jumped in it earlier. I'm not going to put this on our main special list. Probably going to close this trade out before 4 o'clock. There's a chance this could squeeze, though. I just want to let you know. There is a chance this could squeeze. Don't be surprised if we follow up with it tomorrow or later on. The OPTT is kind of a different story. Great news came out on the stock yesterday with Anduril, and I feel like this could be a good swing trade over time, but it needs to make higher highs. If it's not going to make higher highs, then there's no thought behind swing trading, right? So I'm not going to put this on our main special list because, quite frankly, we don't really trade these stocks below $1 too much. If it was moving better, if it was popping up nicer, then I'd probably kind of make the exception. But just giving you an update on some of the trades I've been calling out to you, at least from earlier on this morning, some swing trades that we've been talking about there too. All right, folks, but hey, best of luck trading going into the market close. If you're on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc. Again, a couple different means to follow us going forward, day to day, week to week. You can follow us directly on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc. Just click that button right there at CyberTradingU. I think I got that banner finally to slow down permanently. Unless if someone behind the scenes was just messing with me the whole time, pulling the strings. No, I think I got that banner below there to finally start going slow. There we go. So on the bottom, folks, if you wanted to join us directly live inside our trading room, we got about 108 of us live right now. Andrea, Kate, and Nicole. We got Barbara there. Michael, Steven, Jeff, and all of us otherwise. Hey, best of luck trading going into the close. I'll let you know if I jump into anything here in just a bit. But, join us directly there, though, otherwise. ctu.co/trial. You'll see that popping up on the banner scrolling below on the bottom. That might even be too slow at this point. That might even be too slow. There we go. All right. There we are, folks. That's a nice happy. All right, folks. Hey, take care. And then we'll be back inside our trading room in just a bit.